me start off by saying I am not a Trump supporter and I am not a Kamala Harris supporter. But I felt like I had to come share with y'all what happened today in my group text filled with powerful, affluent, wealthy black men. Okay, so let's start it off. Boom. I'm driving home from basketball practice and the Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump pops up on my timeline on YouTube. So I'm like, all right, bet I'm gonna check it out. As I'm checking this joint out, I'm about 35 minutes in. I'm like, bro, this is a very interesting podcast. And I can already see that it's going to be one of those ones that kind of shakes the landscape of not only YouTube and just long form content, but from a broadcast standpoint. So I hit the group text. I'm like, bro, I tell them exactly my thoughts. I'm like, bro, y'all need to, I was like, man, hey, I'm checking this podcast out. Y'all need to check it out. It's probably going to be one of the biggest broadcast moments in history, for real. So one guy asked me a question, and then I tell him like the reasons why I think it's one of the biggest moments in broadcast history and what's going on in the podcast as far as like the conversation with him and Joe Rogan. And bro, literally after that, I get attacked in the group text. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, bro, like I haven't supported the guy. I haven't given you any reason as to think that I may be voting for him. None of that, bro. But I'm bro. When I tell you I got attacked in that group text, I'm like, bro, wait, hold on. I'll preface it by saying this, right? Anytime that I've ever been in a debate or in a debate class or just kind of had a conversation about research and journalism, it's always been told to me that you have to be able to look at both sides and critique both sides. So if you decide to not pay attention to one side versus another, then you're automatically going to be biased, right? And this is when my spidey senses start tingling because I'm like, bruh, if I put in a video about Donald Trump, who is going to be the Republican nominee for the presidential election, there's no doubt about it, he's that. It will behoove you to at least pay attention to what he has going on as much as you're paying attention to the opposite side if that's who you're voting for. But for whatever reason, I'm talking about, when I tell you these guys are very educated, I'm talking about very well-educated men. But for whatever reason, they can't even pay attention to a long-form podcast or not acknowledge the fact that it is happening without being emotionally riled up and deciding to attack another person for having a different point of view or even exposing himself to the views of that other person, along with other things, you know, like Democrats bringing out certain people in the entertainment industry to pander to African Americans. And one of my friends happening to be one of those people that they actually brought out in time of need to, you know, galvanize the troops. I saw Candace Owens talk about this too, with certain athletes and certain actors and certain entertainers that they just happen to bring out when it's election time. I was just thinking to myself, bro, like when did we stop being objective? When did we stop looking at everything from a big picture point of view and a holistic perspective? Like if I'm speaking millennials, right? And specifically my friend group, I'm like, bro, if we can't be objective and actually have a intellectual conversation about the points that were being made in the video, or at least come to a consensus that, okay, yeah, you have your reasons for liking this, or you have your reasons for posting in the group chat without attacking each other, then how can we expect to be the leaders of the free world, bro? Like,